Let's do it, baby. All right, let's go get it.
All right, boys. I don't know about you, but I knew about 30 seconds into that first New Mexico State possession that they weren't going to score a point. Yeah. And I had them, listen, on write that down. I actually thought that the Fighting Jerry Kills were going to cover the 37.5 that I locked in on a few weeks ago. And
that was very smart of PJ to get to 38 and keep it there so all the bettors could be happy, too. That was
well, there were some 38.5. The opening line was 38.5. So if you jumped on it right off the bat, depending on who you took, it was a pretty accurate line, I guess.
I saw some big tout said, take New Mexico State and the points. Why? I don't know why. They showed no offense against Nevada, for goodness sakes, and that was they didn't get 100 yards, right? They had 91 yards or something.
I think that's accurate. Yeah,
I think they had 91 yards. What a mess! What a poor old Jer. Anybody wanting, as I've said, anybody wanting their revenge on Jer, they got it, baby. He's stuck down there with one of the 5 worst programs in the country. So just pray for the guy not to have another seizure and have to go home. So it's but what a mismatch. So, but the best news out of the game is Ibrahim is back, baby. He is good, man. I think they got to be a good team just having him, don't you, with that running game?
Yes. And they will pass, which is good.
Yeah.
They will throw a little bit.
I love how it was kind of funny, though, the broadcast. So you have Matt Millen bitching the entire second half about why are the Gophers playing their starters? Why is Ibrahim still in the game? And then you had, was it DiNardo on the halftime show? He spent the halftime show complaining that the Gophers couldn't rack up more chunk yardage plays offensively against a bad team and that their run-pass ratio is still bad. And it's like, if they can't pass the ball against New Mexico State, maybe DiNardo is right. But I don't know. People were salty last night.
For no reason, for God's sakes. It was an utter beating from the get-go. They do have Colorado here in 2 weeks, right?
Yes.
I mean, they aren't good, but at least there will be a game played before you these challenges are less than these scrimmages with the 49ers as far as playing. But everybody, PJ's a hero because he ran down Jerry before the game, and they shook hands, and everything's fine.
That was, Jerry didn't look like he wanted a whole lot to do with that.
He was okay though. I mean, he didn't. I don't think he. He knew he could outrun him, so he might as well stay there. And then they talked again. I wonder if PJ told him after, boy, I feel sorry for you, when he met him at halftime. What a collection this is! Wow.
That was the least.
When are we going to get rid of these games? When are we going? Do we have to do this? Why do we?
Soon, because the conference is going to be stacked with games, conference games. Yeah.
And somehow you're going to end up having to, Western Illinois and boy, here's the worst part. I told you guys this yesterday, though. Mexico State got no money to come up here and make 91 yards and get humiliated because it was a Joel Maturi 2-for-1. Maturi's schedule, he didn't like to pay the guarantee, right? To the teams that came to town, like these other schools. They're getting $3 million between Wisconsin and Missouri to go play those games. They got nothing because they had a 2-for-1. So he sent his team down to New Mexico State, and then they came up here twice. So that's they got no money to play that game last night. They were on their own. And when I talked to Kill, it was like their expenses are over $200,000 to bring a team up here on a charter and stay in the hotels and everything. And so they, right out of the old budget, they $200 and some thousand to come up and get humiliated.
That's terrible.
Why didn't they just drop out?
He's done that before with North Carolina, but they had to pay the way to get out. I don't know. I don't think they
sent the Gophers $12 and said, "We're not playing you."
But that would have looked bad too then it would look like Jerry was backing out of.
It's New Mexico State football. Who cares at this point?
But he cares. He cares what people think, and hopefully last night provided a little closure for him, I guess.
Yeah, its closer should have been. Oh my God! No, here's the deal. Seriously, he has never gotten over walking away from $8 million. He's never gotten over that. That if he had it to do over again, he wouldn't have walked away from it. and it's haunted him. And then the year zero stuff drove him nuts. So and he's always been a hypersensitive guy, and the fact that he thought, okay, I left $8 million on the table, but Minnesota still has a good opinion of me, right? And then Fleck takes over and said, they left me a mess. It's year zero, and that drove him nuts. He's a very sensitive guy. So, and now the poor guy's 62 years old and stuck in New Mexico State. But he looks good, right?
He looks slim.
He's been working out. Physically, looks fine.
I would say from the chin up, he definitely looks his age with the gray beard. Yeah. But I mean, that's probably the best shape he's been in since he came into my consciousness, anyways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Your team sucks, but I look good.
Yeah. Well, he knew that going in. I mean, 40. Somebody said apparently I didn't see the first half, but apparently Millen and all they could say is they have 45 new players.
Yes.
Well, how many new players do the Gophers have? Everybody's got 45 new players. You got 22 freshmen and you got 10 transfers. Everybody's got 30 new players. It's not some ungodly number of new players. And guess what? As I said on Twitter, he's going to need 45 new ones again next year, because this rebuild has not yet started. I think he's got, I don't know which quarterback he started. He had a transfer who started last week and threw 3 interceptions in the first half, and then he went to the freshman. I don't know if he played the freshman yesterday.
No, they talked about that he didn't want to throw the freshman out in a short week on the road against a really good defense. So,
okay. Well, but
I don't think it would have mattered much. I think
no. Empty seats though. We didn't fill it up. We're not.
Well, Judd filled one of them, didn't you?
I filled one of them, but that was not a marquee attraction game.
Did they not get the freshman free tickets? Did they not?
They did, and the student section was packed. The student section was packed up and down.
They did get the freshmen to show up.
They got them, yes.
See this? The kids are doing their part. It's you guys, okay?
Yes,
it's the old
free tickets work.
Yeah, well, that's true, and they, it is lively on campus as you drive through to see. On Welcome Week is quite a. It would have been interesting last night to see Welcome Week. A lot of they were already out in front of the fraternities playing very loud music and doing a lot of crazy stuff last night. Yesterday
and tailgating too. Yeah, I can confirm that. Whew, a lot of tailgating going on.
Well, pretty nice date for it, 90 degrees. But Penn State comes back and beats Purdue, man. Braum, all the money he's making. He can lose him at the buzzer, can't he? He's lost a lot of games like that. The West just looks. This has got to be the year, right? Wisconsin.
Well, we've said that. I feel like we've said that about 4 different times.
Yeah,
right? All you have to do is,
I don't think so. Mertz, they're still playing Mertz. Tanner Morgan, for all his mediocrity, is better than him, and Iowa is not nearly as good as they were last year, and you almost beat them down there. They just kind of stumbled to that win in the West last year. Nebraska's terrible again. Purdue's can't get over the hump. He's got to look out for Illinois. That kid Bielema will come down and smack him in the face again down there and just try to run it right between the guards. But I don't know. This has got to. You better win the West this year because you only got one more year of it after this, right?
And then then USC comes in and it's
go to the 20-team league.
They'll combine it. Yep.
Yeah, just one time. We're not asking for that much. Just go get smoked 48-3 in the Big Ten championship game by Ohio State,
and you get to go to a good bowl game.
Go to a nice bowl game.
You might even get to go to one of the the 6 that aren't part of the playoffs. What Washington out there? Have they reported that Washington is called the Big Ten out in the Seattle media?
I've heard that there's been some Oregon and Washington rumblings the last few months. I mean, I would think that you have to jump ship at some point, right? You can't. What are you going to do? You're going to stay in the Pac-12.
Yeah,
it's going to be a 2-conference sport in 5 years.
When I was hearing the rumors, Oregon and Stanford, I said, "Well, Washington is Seattle. This is all about markets, right?
Yes.
This is all about going into markets. If you're going to go out there and get Oregon in a small town, in a smaller place, but because of Nike and the prestige of the program, then you got to take Washington too. And, I'd sure take those two over Stanford and Cal, right?
Yeah. Well, Stanford or Cal makes sense too, though, right? Because then you get the kind of the San Francisco, Northern California.
Except, you know what the interest in college football is in the Bay Area? Tijuana, Mexico has more interest in college football than the Bay Area. They don't care.
That's true, but they took Rutgers, which leads me to believe they won't care, because Rutgers is the most, nobody gives a damn out there. They said, we got New York.
Yeah, and even if the TV ratings are low, they get to put ads, Big Ten Network ads, in a big market, right?
So if they get 20 teams, what are they going to do? Have 5 pods or something? 4 pods? If they
I think that's the talk.
They got to leave a spot for Notre Dame. They got to leave the 20th spot has to be Notre Dame. So maybe Stanford and Notre Dame. I don't know.
And so how would that work? So would they have there'd be a playoff within the Big Ten before you even get to the college football playoff? Or
I think what they said was that just the 2 best teams would play each other, even if they played each other, would they go by rankings? Because there's going to be teams ending up with the same record. So
are we going to wind up having basically, we're going to have a 20-team Big Ten and we're going to have a 20 or 24-team SEC. We're going to basically have 40 to 48 teams or something in 2 conferences.
I don't know what's happening with the SEC, but you got to think the rumor is Clemson and Miami, right? Mm-hmm. And then that's 18. Mm-hmm. And out of that other league, who else do they want? They don't want anybody else, do they? They don't want anybody else from the ACC, do they? Clemson and Miami, maybe I guess North Carolina. They take North Carolina too, right? I don't know, but it's going to be 220s the way it looks. Not the college football of my youth when we had that dynamic 9-game season, and you always opened in the middle of September against Missouri or Nebraska or one of those teams. And I think the first time Murray got a Mid-American team on the schedule was like the mid-60s. What are we doing playing Ohio? We're not supposed to be playing Ohio. So, it's going to be it's unrecognizable in a couple of years. So, anyway, that was unrecognizable as football last night, though. New Mexico.
It was.
It was pretty bad. The pride of AM 1500 got their arse handed to them last night too. The Tommies, right?
The Tommies, yeah. I didn't get to catch any of the game last night, but
Southern Utah,
they were competitive last year, man. They jumped right in last year.
Southern Utah, I believe, is a FCS team, but it's no way. I think they're a scholarship. I'm not sure if they're FCS or they might be FBS, but they're a scholarship, and they just left the Big Sky to play in the WAC or something. But it should have been a nice trip, though. I think Southern Utah is down there in St. George, right? Isn't it down there in the Red Rocks? Beautiful area. Go down there and
get your ass kicked.
Hey, but you get a scenic dinner out of it.
That's good for culture, Pat. It's good for culture.
I'm going to a college football game tomorrow. Whitewater at St. John's. St. John's is taking a big step up for a season opener now that they don't have the Tommies anymore, and they're playing Whitewater at their place on Saturday. And there will be Johnnies, even though school isn't started yet, there will be Johnnies stumbling around with alcohol in them by the thousands.
No, college, that's disappointing.
Another 85, 90-degree day. That could be quite the party.
The Guards lost last night, Reusse.
We're on 1 out.
Within a game with 3 against the Sox coming up this weekend.
Okay, you two guys, this is beyond my feeble brain. What is the object of Billy Hamilton? What do they want him to do?
I think they just want him to play outfield sometimes. But I mean, he shouldn't be starting over Celestino.
No,
and he can't hit.
No,
so.
I mean, he's 207 since 2018.
I think it's a you expand the rosters, and I don't think it's a move you would have made before September. This is just I might be wrong. I don't know what they're thinking, but to have a guy that can at least play some center field after the 7th inning, or you could put you could, if you really wanted to do the defensive replacement thing at the peak level, you put Celestino or Hamilton in a corner, to protect a 2-run lead, but. He can't. You can't put that guy's bat in the lineup on a regular basis.
This is quite a revelation for me to say here, But I think sports teams lie to us about stuff. And when all of a sudden they signed Billy Hamilton, the first question is, what's that mean, Rocco, about Buxton? Oh, no, they're not connected at all. They have no connection whatsoever. We're just taking a little look at Billy Hamilton. They signed him, promising him that he'd be on the active list on September 1st.
Yeah.
The reason is they don't know if Buxton's going to play again this year or not.
That's probably true. Yeah.
And if they can, the sooner they can get that idea in their team's head, the better off they are. Don't worry about him. We don't know where he is. Why would you say, hey, he might join us in New York? Why? You're going to get your ass kicked 3 out of 4 anyway. We know that. You might be.
Sounds like a column, Reusse.
You might win 1. Yeah.
Sounds like a column. Stick it in print.
Sports teams lie. I got news for you. Sports teams lie.
But that's the thing is, somebody needs to actually probably just write that, though, about Buxton. He might be done. There's a chance he's not coming back. And nobody, and the problem is sports teams lie, and they become more emboldened to lie because more and more we believe it. We just parrot it. Oh, this has nothing to do. You don't understand. I'm there. I don't care if you're there. You're wrong.
Yeah. They, Billy Hamilton, come on. There's got to be some reason they're signing this guy. Unless they're going to become by the way, I read in Phil's story today, for the 3rd time in 4 years, they have stolen the least number of bases in Major League Baseball. Yeah. They don't try to steal. Correct. So therefore, but you know what? If he plays, he'll get a nice hand in Chicago. He was there for a while, so they'll like him there.
Have you guys ever taken a trip through Billy Hamilton's minor league stats 10 years ago?
Oh God,
yes, it is hilarious. So in 2012, he was it was AA and high A for the Reds organization. And he batted .311, on base percentage of .410, and he racked up a lot of doubles and triples. He stole 155 bases in 132 games.
It's Vince Coleman back in the day.
I was just gonna say it's like Vince Coleman, Ricky Henderson numbers from the 80s.
Where was that at?
So it was. I don't have the actual minor league teams, but it was Cincinnati's high A and AA teams in 2012. The year before that, he stole 103 bases in low A, and he for a few years he was stealing 55, 60 bases with the Reds on a regular basis.
Didn't they say he still has stolen the most bases in the major leagues in the last decade or something?
Yeah.
Even though he hasn't been in the major leagues.
He's a throwback. He really belongs in the late 80s, or he's not a modern player.
AstroTurf.
Yeah. Oh my God. Can you imagine him
getting the ball into the turf
and then taking that one extra step lead? Yes.
They realize if they win 2 out of 3, they can pretty well put a fork in the White Sox, don't they? I mean, the White Sox have done everything they can to be eliminated, but now that they've won 2 in a row, it's like, oh, here we go.
And so Tony La Russa is having a heart condition, but he says he feels fine, but he's been sent home to check on his heart. Is that what I read?
I believe that they'll tell Tony, and there's no hurry to get back, Tony. We'll.
But I feel great. No, you don't understand. This is real bad.
We don't want to break the news to Jerry that he has to fire you, because Jerry's what, 88 or something, and still calling the shots down there. So. Yeah, I think when they heard him babbling after their last loss about, I'm not angry, I'm just mad, or okay, whatever the hell it was. He's, I think it's all. He hasn't done much for us old men here to ensure people that we can still get the job done.
It would be just the Twins' luck if that clubhouse had a resurgence here this weekend with Tony La Russa gone. All of a sudden, they start playing to their potential because the cancer is out of the room or something, and they sweep the Twins. But
So what do the Twins have to do this year to make it a satisfactory season? I'm writing something about this.
win a playoff game.
Win a playoff game. That's
Right.
That's it.
Think about how it's such a low bar at this point.
Yes,
They've given you an extra slot to get in.
Yes.
The division is as weak as it's been in years. You signed because it fell into your lap one of the best shortstops in baseball, and he hasn't been the best version of himself. But I mean, Buxton, played like the second most games of his entire career. All these things that did go right for you, and you went all in at the deadline for the first time ever.
Yes.
If you can't make the playoffs and win
they fixed the bullpen. The bullpen is fixed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not perfect, but it's fixed. It's not, oh God, how are they going to get to the finish line? They're 4 times out of 5, they're getting to the finish line, right? So, they fixed the bullpen. This McGill has started, he'll once in a while get hit around, but he throws 100, and Caleb Thielbar I want to know where he went to get on his 10-day. He didn't go to.
You might not want to know.
He didn't go to Barbados or someplace, did he? But he's throwing great. And I like this other lefty too. He gets a little wild, but he strikes people out. Keep him, Moran. Don't get rid of him. How about picking up this guy from Boston though?
Yep.
Who's given up 22 runs in his last 17 innings. 17 innings. What the hell is that about?
They're going to fix him, Pat. Pete Mackey is going to fix him.
To be fixing.
I agree, but
fixing. Not in September. You don't fix in September.
How about this for a low bar? So Cleveland is leading the division. They have the 14th best record in baseball.
Yes.
They are on pace for 85 wins. You just have to win 85 with Carlos Correa, Luis Arraez hitting 320.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
That is, that's all they got to do. Win a playoff game. We don't even care if they win a first-round series.
No,
we know even if they do, then they'll play Houston or the Yankees.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Forget it.
Yeah. So all right, well, let us know when that column drops. We're very interested.
Okay.
We'll see you next week, Pat.
All right.
Enjoy Collegeville. See you, Pat.
All right, Rapping with Reusse, presented by our friends at Federated Mutual Insurance Company. They've been around almost as long as Pat has, but instead of agitating, they're here to help businesses maximize their level of success with risk management tools and resources. Find out more about how Federated can help your business at federatedinsurance.com, where it's our business to protect yours.